Okay guys, we've had our cat soaking in some water here, really just to keep it cool while I was doing other things, but I'm going to take a knife and literally all I'm going to do is chunk it up into good sized chunks. Now you can see there's a little bit of silver skin on the back of this. The easiest way I found to do is cut down to that, and then you can just literally scrape off. Instead of trying to, you could probably try to pull it off, but it would cut the tenderloin. This is the tenderloin piece of the cat. So what I'm left with is a couple really nice chunks here, and we're just going to do these parts up just like we do wild turkey, where we're going to fry them up. We're going to roll them in a milk and egg batter, dip them in that, let them soak, roll them in some flour, and now I'm left with a silver skin off here. I'm just going to take and throw it away, but we've got, out of that one tenderloin, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really good pieces there. We'll get the other tenderloin. Might move these to the bowl, and I'll get those soaking in some milk and egg here in a little bit. So here's a big old chunk of that ham off the back ham. And we'll cut that, and it's just nothing but pure lean meat, guys. Really good. And again, if you're wondering why I started this, why I even tried it, it reminds me of a story one of my buddies tells. He goes, "Who was the first person to ever strap a pair of skis onto their feet and have a boat pull them to across the lake?" It's like, you know, who's the first person to try it? You know, someone had to be the first person to try a cat. And you know, the reason why we kind of did it is, you know, we had some old timers who we'd run into at different places. They found out we trapped, and you know, they'd always say, "Wow, have you guys ever eaten bobcat? It's delicious." And we kind of poo-pooed it and kind of like, you know, I don't think we're going to try to eat a bobcat. And then the more I got to thinking about it, reading stories of Western hunters, and you know, dreaming about going out west and chasing after mountain lions and things, and a part of those stories are always the delicacy that mountain lions are, right? And I got to thinking, like, man, if mountain lions are that good, why wouldn't bobcats be that good? And so on a whim, one time we tried it. We kept the back straps and we kept the tenderloins, and we chunked up the big old parts of ham like this, and you know, dipped it in. Just, you know, I'm a southern guy. I like my fried food. So, you know, we rolled it in egg and milk and dipped it in flour and threw it in hot grease, and yeah, it's really good. So we'll show you the steps here, and it's awesome. Okay, we've got a good supply of chunked up bobcat meat here. We're going to get into the fridge, get a couple eggs. Crack them into our bowl. And we'll get a little bit of milk, and you'll see how scientific this process is. There you go. That looks like about the right mixture. And I always find a fork really does this really well. Forks just seem to really froth it up really well. I don't know what it is about them, but we're just going to take our chunks. Tell you what I will do is I'll go ahead and get a little bit of, I'll salt them a little bit before we drop them in there. Not a ton. I'm not really big on a ton of salt in my foods. I kind of think you get it naturally enough. There's hardly any in there, so I'm not putting much on there at all. I mean, a few little grains on each side, not much. Just something Mom always did with wild rabbits that we went out. We always grew up with a pair of beagles, and I've eaten what seems like thousands of rabbits. We'd go out and get our limit every Saturday. Now all I'm going to do is put these little bits in here. Set a separate plate, so once I get them all dipped really well in flour. I can set them aside, but I'm just taking them from the milk and egg mixture, roll them in flour here, coating them really, really well. And I usually only do it with one hand. If you're wondering why, if this hand's broke, no. It will get so gummy on your fingers. I typically like to keep one hand free to turn on the faucet or whatever I need to rinse this hand off. Just a little tip from experience there. So I can check and see if my grease is ready. Yep, it is. So I can take this over and drop a little bit in, get it cooking. With this, and you see I just got both hands in it. So I have to turn the faucet on with my elbow now, so I'm trying to hurry up the process now. So there's my bobcat cooking up, and you'll see I've got a bowl with a bunch of folded up napkins at the bottom. And once I scoop that out, that's what it'll go on, and I'll keep layering the napkins over it so that way I soak up the grease that they cook in. And it'll dry out really good.
This is the stuff.
You like that, buddy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what are you eating? So, I mean, we haven't baked anything, nothing like that.
Bobcat.
From farm to table. Was on the farm this morning, we were trapping, and on our table, and now in your mouth.
It'll be on the wall.
Cool.
Yep.
Beautiful bobcat.
That's really good.
Providing for our family.
Yeah. Stuff's really good.